There you go, ladies, you can start. This is your recording.
Oh, hello and welcome everybody. This morning we're going to look at our project that we've been working on for several months. And the project is about creativity and well-being and mental health and well-being. And so we have decided to call the project Elements. And we're thanking, first of all, Arts Council England for supporting us and enabling us to do our bit and to make things, to play, to use materials and to get to the space that we've got to now where we're exhibiting our work in Oswestry Library. And so big thank you to Arts Council England. Thank you so much for making this possible. So the Elements project encompasses 5 elements, and we thought that these 5 elements would enable us to look at our own creativity and look at the way that we can express one of the elements. So there are 5 of us. So I am fire because I've had to be the curator or producer or crucible to hold the event together, the project together, and also to do my own work about fire as an element. And I've tried to do that via an installation. Everything is visible on YouTube. This will be on YouTube. And so you will be able to also look at all the work that we've done on Elements Arts, and you'll be able to access that on YouTube. So it's Elements Artworks. So the wonderful people who've been involved in this project, and they've really come up really, with the goods and excelled themselves in every way. And I'm just so proud of each of the people working on this, because they've taken each of the elements that they were given or what was right for them. So we have Jenny Vaughan, and she was given the element of earth. So she is going to be first up, and she's going to be talking to us any moment about her role as earth and the creative output that she responded to earth and the way that she gave us what she gave us, which is wonderful. So the next person who we shall see is Pamela Scottville, and she was given the element of water. And so she took her element in a completely different direction to Jenny. Each person has taken theirs into a completely different direction. So Pamela is going to show us and talk to us about what she did with water. So the next person is Lita Parkin-Spink, and she took on the element of spirit. Now, spirit can be depleted spirit, positive spirit, and you will see if you look at YouTube at work, at all everybody's work, but you can see the progress that Lita has taken her element of spirit. Then we have Mary. Mary has looked at air. That has been her element, and looking at air, she has taken that into her own creative realm and come up with something else that's fabulous. And so she's going to talk about that. So we're going to sort of talk about 5-10 minutes each person, and then I will conclude. The thing that I just want to go through quickly here is the fact that those elements have also been related to the 5 NHS ways to mental well-being. So each person has related their element to 5 points. And these points, which they have constantly come back to and addressed within their work. 1, to connect with others. 2, to be active and to do something. 3 is to learn new skills. 4 is to give to others. And then 5, finally, is paying attention to the present. So our contributors have had to think about that and how they could employ those 5 very important ways, NHS ways of well-being, to the project, and they've done so magnificently. So I think we'll start now. If you're ready, Jenny, if you're ready, off you go.
Well, here we go. I'm not an artist per se, but by trade, I'm a holistic therapist. I started this many years ago, really, but only came into it 3 years ago. And there's a background to that, into why I came into it, came back to it. I drifted off into what was a very stressful corporate world. And about 3 years ago, I sort of hit my limit with it, and I just walked away to save myself. I thought, I'm not going to get much older if I keep doing this. So I walked away from it. I just needed to step off the world and to breathe for a bit. I needed that space. I needed that me time. And thank goodness I was either directed to it or I recognised it. But I also needed to pay the bills. So I just put out there, I put my faith and trust into the universe that it would provide me with an answer. During that time, I gave myself time to rest my mind and to take stock and listen to my own energy vibrations. And I'd sit I've got a lovely summer house on the banks of the river, and I would sit there with the doors wide open, listening to the water flowing, the birds singing, and practice, really, reconnecting with nature. And through doing that, I was surprised, really, at how quickly my pain eased, and I found that new direction. So I resolved on that one day that I'd spend the rest of my life working, helping others to find the same tranquility in an ever increasingly mad world that we're all living in. So, like I said, 25 years ago, I first qualified as a reflexologist and massage therapist. And back then it was a little bit, I was a little bit ahead of my time, I think, for people understanding what it was I was offering for the new age sort of treatments. So I sort of go back to that, but I'm not very structured in what I do, because I try to tap in and use the energies around me to help my clients. So I always work barefooted so that the soles of my feet feel rooted to the earth, which allows my body to act as a conduit to transfer the energy from the ground and from the earth into my clients via my hands. So the universe basically had spoken to me, and I'd listened, properly listened, for the first time in a long, long time. But one of the most amazing things to come out of that journey was that my long buried creative mind began to resurface. It had been piled high with education and rubbish, and I'd forgotten that underneath all them layers, as they stripped back, I refound my creativity. And so as the chaos of my world unraveled into a lovely contented calm, I found that writing, in particular poetry, was now the perfect outlet to make sense of my own headspace. As a Virgoan, I'm a Virgo, an Earth Mother, I feel the power of the earth and the gifts and comforts it brings to us, free of charge, but in abundance. It's there. And it was these thoughts that brought me to my contribution to the project, which was a poem entitled Grounded, which, if you like, shall I read it to you?
Yes, please.
What if those salty white horses crashing on the shore were no more? A mirrored glass lake in their place, edged by tall, straight, smooth-barked trees with perfect leaves, no gnarly knots, no twisty chimney pots on cottages washed in line. Earth's clock ticks by in perfect time. Golden embers from a burning fire and crumpled sheets from wild desire now not as fresh as when first pressed. Trembling connection, positive charge-flavoured feast feeds the universe at large. What if the crazy thoughts of an active mind are there to help the body unwind to perfect rest? No muscle stressed, no aching joint or trigger point, grounded, rounded, power unbounded, transferred through atoms, and every cell is nourished by nature's magic spell. So,
thank you.
Ballistic Therapy, which is now what I'm doing every day, encourages the mind, spirit, and body to collaborate on the same frequency. So it involves relaxation, visual imagery. Other bodywork techniques, such as massage, are often used to help to achieve the best outcomes. What I found taking part in this project, and particularly at the end, and viewing it as a whole in Oswestry Library, seeing the result of the collaboration of all you wonderfully diverse artists just feels very holistic to me. It was also through the Elements project that I was introduced to the very talented Sarah Ibbison. She arrived at my studio armed with a camera and enthusiasm to create a wonderful film to accompany my words using striking visual imagery. As holistic therapy combines the energy of body, mind, and spirit, as I say, Sarah's film combined with my poetry to make it whole. I liken Sarah's creative input to my words as the same process of holistic therapy, promoting that mind and body connection, influencing energy fields within the human body that affect and improve one's physical and mental health. Reconnecting with nature and rebalancing my life, without a doubt, led to a greater confidence in my own abilities. Through being part of the project, part of this group of creative innovators, I feel that my own creative energy and connection to the earth has risen at almost the same rate as my mental well-being. No longer am I constantly stressed, battling invisible enemies. I found an outlet, a coping strategy, which if only I'd known sooner, was there all along. We just need to allow ourselves to connect. So my latest poem reflects how far I've come along my journey to finding this peace. And it's called Mindfulness, Paying Heed to the Present Moment, which is one of the NHS lines.
Yes.
Thank you. So I'll just finish by reading you that.
Thank you.
Latest one. What do you see? What do you smell? What do you hear? What can you taste? What can you touch and how does it feel? Too many questions, too much haste. Slow it down and don't overthink. Don't second guess. Consider your needs and lay down that stress. Life is this moment. It's what's all around, the good and the bad in earth's beauty crowned. I hear you, nature. I feel the earth and hot rays burning bright. I taste the water and cleanse my spirit from darkness to light. I am here, right now. This is me. I am okay. So are you.
Well done, Jenny. Well done. Really beautifully put. Thank you so much for your contribution, for those words, your whole work, your poetry, and those gems. You know, you've just said some wonderful gems there. So thank you so much. We're going to move on to Pamela now, if that's all right. And Pamela, are you there?
Yeah, I just unmuted myself.
Hello.
Hello.
You okay?
Yeah, good. Yeah. Should I just launch in or what?
Launch in. Launch in, yeah.
Okay, I've written it down because I can't, I'm not good at speaking. Yeah, hello.
Just take it, do as you feel, but you are good at speaking.
Okay. Yeah, through the project, I was thinking about the 5 NHS ways to healthy living, and it was really interesting to stop and consider them. I hadn't even heard of them before. I practice without thinking about the stuff that I do. I just do it, and I'm not so good at recognizing ways of being and practicing that. But the project did give me the opportunity to stop and consider these and consciously incorporate them into my daily life and my art practice. So that was quite that was a very new thing for me to do. The pieces that I made are 3 30-centimeter square tapestry woven images of a sea bather. These pieces are my own interpretation of taking time to acknowledge the present and the health benefits that affords. I am a sea swimmer at a local beach and have lived near or on water for all of my life. So, but the last 2 years in particular have been, the little beach near us has become very important to me, and everything that goes along with it. The process of making a tapestry woven piece is a slow, mostly solitary, almost meditative one. And because I have an acquired brain injury, I am not able to divide my attention. So this means that to give my full focus to the process, I have to be in a quiet, uninterrupted place. I start the process probably first by swimming and then sketching ideas. I then paint a cartoon of the image, which is never intended to be the final piece, but they're quite often quite nice paintings because I'm not trying to finish them, which is that's another thing altogether. I consider, when I'm painting, I consider colors, scale, textures, and then I start weaving. In this series, I found the first image the hardest one to come to, and in fact, I had completely finished the second and third image before I settled on on what the image would be. In that moment of stillness, I knew that I wanted it to be about stillness and anticipation when you're about to take a first step, whether that's into the sea or any other project. Through being part of the Elements project, I feel a real boost to my sense of where my artistic practice is going. I find it fascinating looking at my art practice and the swimming and how one affects the other. They're linked while both promote healthy living. One is pretty much solitary and the other I enjoy with friends. There seems to be quite a crossover of interest in wild swimming and weaving. Maybe both communities are supportive ones, and I'm very glad that I am part of both. I surprise myself that I am even able to start on a project like this. I have a lot of self-doubt and really was initially not going to take part as I didn't feel able physically to complete the work and was worried that what I did wouldn't be received well and fear of criticism maybe. However, the experience has been the opposite of any fears I had. Of course, I found it hard to have my work displayed and see feedback from strangers, but on the whole, I have felt protected and able to express quite personal emotions within a framework of the project. I've increased in confidence and have felt really quite overwhelmed in a good way with all the very kind things that have been said about my pieces, in particular how they have been affected, how other people have been affected by the images and can relate to those feelings. It's a privilege to hear those stories. Going forward, I have already been asked if I would like to display work in a gallery, which is just amazing for me. I was really honoured to be asked. It gives me a nudge to develop my art practice and consider others and act, and not just myself when I'm weaving this project. When I'm weaving. This project has been a big step into the world for me. So lots more weaving, but still time for swimming with friends too. It's been fascinating for me to see and hear the other artists' responses to their chosen elements. It reminds me what a powerful medium art is in confronting issues and bringing them into an open arena. Thank you, Carol, for including me, and it's been lovely to be part of the group, and I'm sorry that we all couldn't meet up in person.
Yes, and have a party. I know. Well, that is really well put. Well done, Pamela. And just,
Thank you.
Such good feedback, and everything that you've said there is absolutely wonderful and spot on. And I really feel as if, you've really given us a window into your world and how it's taken you, like from your swimming to your weaving. Thanks so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you. Thanks for being part of the project. Right, so now I think we're on to Lita now. Is Lita there? Lita?
You got to unmute.
Oh, We've got Mary. Mary, hello, Mary. I'm not quite sure what's
on mute.
I've done it.
Oh, there she is.
I think I've done it.
Oh, all right. See you in a minute, Mary. Hello, Lita. Lovely to see you this
Sorry,
morning.
I'm not very good on the technical bit, but I think I'm here now.
You're here now. That's lovely. That's smashing. Looking very nice and bright.
Can I just make excuses for the background, because I'm in my creating room, so it's a bit of a mess, but there you go. So yeah, Do you want me to jump straight in?
Yeah, can I just thank you, Lita, for helping. You came over and helped me set up the exhibition, and I really appreciated that, because I physically needed that, and aesthetically and all the help. So I'd just like to thank you in particular for coming over from Yorkshire, all that way from Yorkshire, and helping me with that.
Thoroughly enjoyed seeing everybody's work in the flesh. It was really, really a privilege to see it, and I really enjoyed presenting it all. So that's wonderful. So I will start with the Black Dog was a personal journey of the depleted spirit as part of the Elements group. How the Black Dog came about is still a bit of a mystery to me, really. But I had my background is of caring, and I'd like to read you the first poem that came to me, and I've never written a poem before. But this will give you some insight into the caring responsibilities that I've had. And basically, it's just my life. So it's called My Life, My Experience, My Journey. My childhood, my dad leaving, my young brothers need caring. My lovely mother struggling, me caring, our black dog. Me caring, my husband, the depression, our baby daughters need caring. My career in caring, I cared for 40 years. My retirement, my mother's dementia, my love always. Me giving, me supporting, my love for grandchildren. So basically that's just a timeline. And it was a bit of a revelation to me that was my life that I had been, by seeing that timeline, by seeing that written down. But I also began the journey by saying yes to the project, because someone believed in me. They believed I could succeed, and in turn gave me my own self-belief. So the Black Dog came about because I was aware that Winston Churchill had depressive episodes that he called the Black Dog, and we had a black dog at home when I was a child. So I started doing a felted black dog, something I've not done so big. And a new skill was the fact that I did the armature and then started building with the wool. But the journey started with a lot of self-doubt. I'm not sure I can do it. I'm useless. I'm not very good. I was very exposed and very vulnerable. But I did learn a new skill, and I did make a start, and it's the biggest project I've ever undertaken. But when I started the journey, I started making a diary, and that became the Black Dog journey. And it was like a journey of me as a carer that have cared for people with depression. So in my perspective from a carer. So I made the Black Dog journey, which had me of feelings that, well, it was looking nothing like a dog. What am I thinking? I might as well just give up. And I could imagine they were the thoughts of depression. But anyway, I have a positive spirit, and I believed I survived the caring responsibilities by watching the programme Blue Peter. I'm sure, did everybody watch Blue Peter as a young child? And so began my journey of making and creating, sharing the things I made with my mum mainly. On reflection, this helped my well-being, especially the mental health and well-being. I feel that the creating part of even the little things that I made was a feeling of achievement and kept me going. Now, the Black Dog became an arduous task, but it brought me strength to my own personal development. It was paying attention to the present, the mindfulness that kept me grounded and kept me going, because I wanted to succeed. I did put a collar on the Black Dog, and the time I put the collar on him, I didn't really understand why I was putting a collar on him, and it was only till later, on reflection, that the collar then became the hope that he could be tamed and healed. But when I put the collar on him, I had no idea that that was what was going to happen. But I'd just like to read the last sentence of the Black Dog journey that I did. So I put, although this process gave me some insight into depressive thoughts, it was a huge task I allowed myself to have a go by saying yes. It made me determined, focused, and gave me hope, a feeling of achievement and pride. So thank you to the whole of this project for allowing me to do this. It's been an absolutely amazing journey, difficult at the time and took me 6 months, but it was worth every minute. So thank you, and thank you to all your lovely work that I saw at Oswestry. It's beautiful. Thank you,
Peter. Well done. That's great. Thank you so much for your contribution, for all of it. Brilliant. Okay, then are we on to Mary next?
Hello.
Is Mary there still there?
And first, I've got to apologise that I haven't seen the exhibition online or anyhow yet, so I haven't seen your work. I've been really busy, but tonight I'm going to have a look at it and check it all out. And this sounds really interesting. Yeah, so to start with, connecting with other people. And I'm really pleased Carol asked me to join. You know, I am an artist, and most of the time it's quite isolating work. You're either away by yourself. You don't know what's going to become of it. You don't know where it's going. So this time it was a little bit different because there was an outcome. There was going to be an exhibition and there was a structure. So having the guidelines of the elements, and I had the element air and the 5 steps to better well-being or whatever it was. So my work kind of meandered in various directions, and yeah, first of all it was going to be one thing, and then it became, anyway, it transformed into something else. So I had the element air, and I was thinking about emotions with the element air. And I've always suffered from anxiety, and anxiety is a very groundless state. So it's kind of like, it's all air, it's all jittery and all air. So I wanted to do a piece of work that I could try and get the sense of anxiety in the pieces. And this is new for me. So, because normally I work intuitively, I work through playing with materials and creating things that are non-literal, really. And what I've come up with is like the idea preceded the work, which is a first for me because I work the other way around. So that's learning new skills. So first of all, I wanted to get this sense of jitteriness. And I thought, how can I get that? And I thought, what about if I build a piece of work on a vibrator or something that vibrates, which led me through trawling various unsavory websites. So we'll put that to one side. And then I realized what kind of motors I needed. And then I ordered some little motors online. And I had these 2 motors that were joined together. And instantly when you put them on, especially if you put them on different surfaces like a wooden table, they clatter and they go and they make you feel anxious just to start with. So I thought, right, how can I heighten this movement? So I put like a coronet of feathers on so that the feathers all kind of waved as well. So it was like really jittery. And because there were 2 motors and they were vibrating to us, I thought, I'll make this about separation anxiety. I'll make one big and one small, like mother and child, and the umbilical cord that joins them, but the anxiety about separating. So I don't know if you've seen the piece. So the little one is outside of the circle, and the mother is inside the circle. It worked better that way round than I wanted the little one in the circle and the mother outside the circle, actually. But the movements didn't work as well. So that's how that piece came about. And yeah, I'm pleased with it because I feel it does really get over that feeling.
Yeah.
And it's the first time I've ever worked with mechanics at all. So I might do more kinetic work with, yeah, maybe working with an electrician so that they can build me, because what I would like is to be able to work with a circuit that changes so that the vibe, so you could go through like very heightened jittery movements and then them slow down to really calm movements. So yeah, that's for the future. So, and the other piece, teetering, was that sense of, which is very familiar to me. I've suffered anxiety all of my life, and I've never consciously tried to externalize the feelings of anxiety. I mean, they're there in my work, if I look through my work. So I was consciously trying to get a feeling over and own it. It's kind of like something I don't talk about, or I'm not ashamed of it, but it's not like, it's quite hard sometimes talking to other people about anxiety, you know, where to get the meeting point. So art's a brilliant conduit for that. So the materials I chose, like the wire and the see-through plastic. So the see-through plastic was meant to look kind of so that it looked like glass. I was thinking like wire and glass, being wired and fragile glass and everything brittle. So there's no flesh on it. There's no earth there. There's no fire there. You know, it's got a bit of a watery feeling maybe, but it's mostly air. So I kind of tried to make it so it was really airy. So the chicken wire is airy, and the disc at the top was meant to be like, I often feel completely overwhelmed by the environmental crisis, and like sometimes I feel like I'm having to kind of hold it at bay so that it doesn't completely descend and overwhelm me. So that's the sense of teetering, kind of pushing this feeling away or holding it at bay. So that's where the image comes from. And to get more of the feeling of insecurity in it, you know, I placed it, so she's standing on a dome, and then the dome I placed onto a cake stand. So it looks more and more fragile as it goes up, and it could even be on another plinth. So you get more of a sense of teetering in it. The cake stand is also to do with like presentation. And even though we feel various things in our life that feel really difficult things, we still kind of make an effort to go out and present ourselves to the world. So hence the scarf on the doll, it looking like a kind of pretty dress in a way, even though it's that kind of sense of in spite of this, we present ourselves to the world, you know. So that's what that was about. And during the work, I mean, you have to be very present in your artwork, especially if you're doing something that is a one-off, because you're making, every moment you're making decisions and you're working out how to go about making it. So every moment is presenting itself with a question that you're answering, you know, and having to be inventive about. So you're very much in the present while you make things. Is there anything else I need to say about it? And in that making, I'm a very slow maker. I'm very ponderous. I can spend a whole day just moving one thing from here to here. And then by the end of the day, I'll move it back. So nothing has happened the whole day. And that can be quite stressful in itself, because you're thinking, oh my God, I've got to get this done. But actually, when I'm working, I don't hurry myself. I do get anxious while I'm working. And actually, I don't find working an easy thing. I find it really quite difficult. So it is quite a meditative process, and it can be a tortuous process as well at the same time often. But having sort of expressed the feeling and said, yes, I feel like this. I often do feel like I'm teetering. Yes, I often feel like this, the jittery, oh my God, kind of feeling. Having expressed it and owned it, I feel much healthier for having done that and put it out there. And hopefully other people that, you know, we're beset with anxiety at the moment, you know, there's GPs, holistic practitioners, they will all say, you know, anxiety has gone through the roof. So hopefully in having put that out there, it can give voice to other people who feel it, and, you know, it can speak for them also. That's about all I've got to say.
Mary, brilliant. Thank you so much. You put that so eloquently and so clearly, and, you know, brilliant piece of work. So thank you so much. Are there any questions? We've got 10 minutes left. Would anyone like to ask Mary any questions, and then we can go back and ask any questions to all of us, really? Any questions from anyone? I think you covered.
I would just like to say that I love Jenny's voice on the film that Sarah did. It was very soothing. I felt like I was having a massage when I was listening to her voice on that. So that was really, really good, the way that was put together. And the swimming tapestry gave me a sense of freedom when I looked at those. So they were wonderful. But everybody, and the teetering, I could fully understand so we've all been there, teetering on the edge of something. And so I can understand that. But yeah, fabulous work. And it's been wonderful to be able to share it with everybody.
Thank you, Rita. I agree entirely. Is there any more comments or questions from anyone else that they'd like to just comment on? Anything at all, really? Life in general, but the project in particular?
Thank you for putting it together, Carol, and, you know, all your hard work behind the scenes.
It's been absolute joy. It really has. I mean, it's been, as Lita said earlier, several months, because we, you know, the idea came up in like October, November, but I think we all needed that amount of time to get our heads around it, and also to explore it, for things to go wrong, for, you know, things to be put to one side, to come back to it. And I think that's worked, you know, because and we have given ourselves time. And even if you prevaricate and you're a last minute person, it's still given you the time to lead up to it, because it's not necessarily, as Mary said, of what's happening. You may move a bead and move it back and it looks like you've not done anything, but the actual process that you might have been through leads you. It's not just the artwork, it's the mental process, it's the playing, it's the taking away, and all the things that you consider. I mean, I did this installation. It's the first time I've done an installation, because normally I would make a piece of work, a sculpture or a pot, but I wanted to, because I was seeing myself as the crucible and pulling, and the fire melding it together, then I had to think of another way of doing it. And also, because I needed to work with lightweight materials, you have to think about the materials that are suitable for you or other people making or watching this. You might think, well, clay's too heavy. You know, I can't actually lift that at the moment. So there's other ways of using things and putting it together. So you have to go through lots and lots of different mental processes to arrive at the stage that we've all arrived at. It's not just like bish bash bosh, there you are, for any of us. And so I really appreciate the time that everyone in this project has put in, and I'm just so proud of the four of you. And also there's two people who aren't here. There's Claudia Whitby-Tillett, and she contributed with her drawing and fencing. So I'd like to thank Claudia, and I would like to thank Fiona, the biker, who went through her own process of taking on board something which was about fire. It was about changing her depression after her mother died and her family left, and setting herself a project, because we all need to set ourselves the next thing to do, you know, and we may not achieve it, but it's really important that and that we collaborate. You know, it wouldn't, if we hadn't have collaborated in this, it wouldn't have been the same at all, would it? It's the fact that you can just, you can look on YouTube when Hattie, I'd like to thank Hattie Thorpe-Gunner, my wonderful daughter PR, who can do all the things I cannot possibly do, to put our work out there. So this is going to go on, this film's going to go on YouTube. So you should be able to access that at Elements Artworks. It will be on YouTube. And so she will put that on for us. And also it will go hopefully to Wolverhampton, to the students there, to the people who want to access it at Bethlehem, who we wanted to take our exhibitions there and were unable to do so because of COVID. I'd like to thank Anne-Marie Legram for instigating the whole project, for getting the Arts Council bid, because that is quite a lot of work, and enabling us via the Arts Council to go ahead. And so thank you to Sarah Ibbison also for the music that she did, and the film that she's put on separately, which encases the whole film, which you should be able to get and look at on our site now. So have a look at that, Mary, in particular. If you haven't had any of it, get on that site, and it's all there. So I think that we can, unless there are any more questions or thoughts or ideas for the future, there may be ideas for the future, then we can close now. But I would like to thank you in every possible way for your participation, every aspect of your participation. And I'm so pleased with the work that you've done and the way it looks in the exhibition. So Sarah Ibbison has done a film of that. So thank you for that. So is there anyone else that we need to thank? Sorry if we've forgotten you, but I'm really hoping that we've included everybody. And and let's hope that we can meet at a future date. Thank you. So I think we'll go back to Mandy to close us down now, but don't be closed down fully. Keep making.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carol. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Mandy, where are you?
Mandy.